I think in many places you can learn academically what's happening in the world, but for our students, the fact that they live together and they know one another, it means that every conflict and every global event has a human face.
In my global politics class, we start with what makes you angry? What do you care about? And very quickly, we find various difference within the cultural and diverse setting of our students and experiences.
So we have students from Israel, Palestine, from Russia and Ukraine, from Yemen, from India and Pakistan. So we always try to make sure that we have students from both sides of a conflict.
I teach philosophy here, and when we're discussing things like democracy or we're discussing about what's right and what's wrong, they can draw upon all the things that they're learning when they're together in the residences, or the things they learn on activities. When the students are having these really challenging experiences in the outdoors, so when it is snowy, when they're learning to ski, when they're trying to light a fire, when they're trying to cook, the connections and the trust that they build doing that is really an important part of our peace building work. And it means that the total amount of learning that they do is so much greater than if we just had the classroom alone. One of the most important things that the students learn when they're here is that they learn the importance of listening to lots of different viewpoints and being willing to challenge themselves. It's not enough only to persuade and to talk to people who are just like you. They're going to understand that other people are different, and that's okay.
The transformative nature of the school is putting a middle-class European with a refugee in the same room in order for them to understand deeply what it is to live in a class divide of that nature.
When you are working in a school like this, it's residential, we have students who come and they're very, very sure that they know what is right in terms of things that seem quite minor, like what time should you go to bed? How warm should your room be? When is it appropriate to get up? Should you have a snooze button? All these really standard day-to-day things. And one of the challenges is that we have to help them figure out how to negotiate and navigate these discussions and debates. And that beginning of dealing with the challenge is also an education in how to deal with bigger challenges later on. So it starts really small and it gets bigger.
What we want UWCs to be is to be safe spaces where young people can come and be able to talk to each other about topics that possibly they could not safely do so in other spaces.
But it's safe not because they're protected from disagreement, but because they can have those disagreements and discussions and challenges in a way that is also productive and valuable for them. One of the things that really sets the UWC movement apart is that we understand diversity in multiple different ways. It's absolutely fundamental to our identity as a school that we can bring students here without regard to ability to pay. So the role of philanthropy really is, for us, it's existential, because it's all about making sure that we continue to have a genuinely diverse campus, not only a campus for a small group of people in the world, but really, to the greatest extent possible, represents and reflects the challenges that the world is facing.
What excites me is not that they get good grades on the exam or that they improve as students, although that is important. I'm making a bet on the long game. It's lifelong learning and equipping young people with communication skills, with conflict resolution skills, and with the most basic value of deep other-centeredness and empathy. The 2 years are just a beginning. It's difficult at this moment to teach at one of the most idealistic educational programs in the world. A world that is politically divided, a world that is seeing clashes of cultures and civilizations, a world that is environmentally being destroyed. We need to be honest with young people, and we can't expect that they're going to solve all the problems that the generations previously have not solved. But the only way of addressing this poly crisis is really to make sure that we amplify and project the voice of young people, give them true student empowerment, true ownership of their learning, and give them real world problems and situations.
That this is a place where you bring people together who really hope and believe that the future can be better. My message to our graduates is that if they can continue to transmit that sense of hope and purpose and belief to other people in the way that it was transmitted to me, then that is the beginnings of a significant impact in the world.